Hey, good evening. I'm sure you wonder what informs my putting up this, uh, whatever you want to call it, muffler on my head and dressing this way today. I'm actually trying to talk about something that I know is a little bit controversial, but I don't mind because I want to make a point to everyone that is out there who might be listening to me today. I'm not cold, and the weather is quite, friendly. It's very good here this evening. But if you can see, I have a topic that I have announced. I didn't share it here, but it's on Facebook where I shared this message. It's been some days I've not come on YouTube live because I've been busy on the radio and then busy with our students who are doing their exams right now. They just finished their exams last weekend. I want to thank God for every one of them that went through that examination. Now, this is the question that many persons have been asking. Why did two people come together in the so-called love and they become cat and rat at home? What happens when two people marry together and they are no longer friendly after a period of time? What makes them to want to, kill themselves at home and begin to call themselves devils? These are some of the questions that I have, also heard from different persons, and they want to, find out what is the Bible got to say about it. Well, listen to me tonight. Every one of us has got a lot of things that we have, as baggages that we are holding and keeping or holding on to. And by the special grace of God tonight, I want to attempt to answer one or two of these questions by, a statement that I'm going to be making. And that is this. You see, when you attempt to marry, marriage actually should be something that is meant for ready minds. Ready minds. And when you talk about ready minds, we're talking about minds that are matured. We're talking about minds that are matured. Now, what is maturity? It's not body alone. You see, grown up man, grown up woman, attain age of puberty and all of that, yes, they say you are physically, biologically ready or you are matured. It's one thing to be bodily matured, ready for sex and all of that. It's another thing for you to be mind ready. It's another thing to be spiritually ready. Before a young man or young woman gets into marriage, it's important that he or she considers these areas. But unfortunately, we may really not know the areas that we need to be prepared or to be ready, because we were not taught, we were not told the areas that we need to be prepared. I was not taught, just like many of you out there listening to me or watching me right now were not taught. As a matter of fact, some of us discovered this whole thing. And because we discovered it, we just found ourselves in it and then we keep playing. We had no coaches. We had no referees to actually, tell us this is how we do this game. They only assumed that we would all learn. Like I was told when I met, my pastor then, I said, tell me, counsel me, tell me what to do. The only words he used for me, he said, you're going to learn on the job. And marriage is something that you need to be taught, you need to be educated, you need to be informed. It's not just enough watching those who are married. Especially today that we have lots and lots of bad examples out there. I'm not an exemption of what I'm saying, that we all went through, we all got into it, and we genuinely actually wanted to settle in life, but we did not get the right coaches. There is the need for you and I to teach our children today so they would not repeat our mistakes. They didn't teach us about what actually is a man like. You need to teach your child, your daughter. You need to tell your son, what is the makeup of a woman? What actually does a woman want from a man? and what does a man expect from a woman. There is a need for this lesson. There is a need for it. Otherwise, they will just go into it blindly, expecting that naturally they will just learn. It doesn't happen like that. And that's why mistakes will always be made. Now, when I was told that I was going to learn on the job, I didn't even think about it. I actually learned on the job. And I'm learning. Now, when you see people who divorce after a few months or a few years of marriage, you see some of you are so big-mouthed that you begin to blame them, you begin to talk to them, you begin to do all kinds. You wonder why they had to go into that. They genuinely look like they love themselves at the beginning. But how come two friends become what? They become enemies overnight. Lack of teaching, lack of coaching, lack of exposure, lack of instructions. Your parents didn't teach you, so you won't teach your child. And your child continues with the same mistakes. Now hear me tonight. The heading of tonight's talk is, when you marry someone with the intention of changing that person, or to change that person to become like yourself, conflict will never end in that relationship, because everybody was made unique, and everybody has got different uniqueness. And the reason why God has brought that person into your life, if you need your type, He wouldn't need to bring someone else into your life. Variety is the spice of life. Now, we can't stand certain things, and that's why some of us will do what we do with people. We can't stand it. Now, some of us marry because we want to change them. We want them to be like us. And that is common with us men. It also happens among women. They want to change the man to be like them, to do their bit, to everything work according to what they want. They never respect the fact that this woman has got a mind. This woman has a life to live. Listen, this woman had a lifestyle before she met you. This woman had a drive. There was something that was, that you saw. You see, that thing you saw in her, you want to change it now. A woman that has been, out there before, business like and all of that, or this one who is, is a smart, intelligent woman who has been working, and all of a sudden you say what you want to do now is what? To change her. Now, you want to change her to what? You want to change her to become like you. If you marry to someone who actually grew up in a home where outing is the main thing, intelligence is the main thing, you're definitely going to have a problem. You understand? Just a minute. Are you going out or you're coming in? Sorry, that's my son. Now, you marry to someone who is an extrovert, someone who enjoys going out, someone who enjoys socializing, someone who is out for, not necessarily partying, but is not someone that is confined. He doesn't like being confined to a place. Now you marry the person, you said the person should stop working, she should stop going to market, she should stop going to shop, now she should stay home and be full-time mother. You will have problem. You will have fight. You will. If you have the type that, it's the type that likes reading, likes movie, likes going for, to watch movies and all of that, and you now say she must stay indoors and watch your children, you will have quarrel. The same thing with women that want their husbands to change. So when people grow, people call it what? Change. You can see, I can decide to appear the way I want to. This is me. Tomorrow I can come up with suit and wear a complete suit and look, Now, that you're wearing a suit does not make you a gentleman. Now, look at me tonight. I choose to cover this way. I have my reasons. I'm not hiding my face. Now, I don't like the gregarious. I don't like the noisy. I don't like the effigy, unnecessary, posing and forming. This is me. The truth is living in me. I choose to just, keep everything about my life simple. Today you see me, okay, look at now. This is me. I choose to remove it. Tomorrow I can decide to go on a lower court. Tomorrow I can. Now, so there was a time I had mustache here. Things that the person used to do. Now, when you are getting involved and marrying someone, did you take time to look at the likes and the dislikes? Did you take time to notice the different manifestations? Do you understand? Did you take time to notice the different manifestations? The things that the character traits in him or her. Now you're married to someone who is loud, and you are the introvert, and you want the person to now become like you. Why did you go there? I said to them in church today, do you know you don't have to be married? It's not compulsory. No, God permits it. You don't have to be, because if you're going to be married, there are certain things that you must be ready to do. There must be changes in certain modus operandi of your life, and you can't afford to say you're going to go on with the way it used to be. If you were the defender of the universe, you are the Votram of your family. You are the one that used to fight for everybody. When you are married now, you got to change. Because now that you are married, you are under, for example, a girl, you are under a man now who is expected to fight for you, protect you. Now, you cannot continue that way. As long as the mindset of you as a man is to change her, you know what? She's got lots of things on her mind. And now, why did she come as a helper? The Bible calls her a helper. And if you want her to change to be you, then you don't need a wife. You don't need a wife, because the uniqueness in her, you want to kill it. The uniqueness in the man, you want to kill it. You don't need a partner as long as you are not ready. Okay, you want to make the person to be like you. There will be no variety. There will be no changes, and that's where quarrel begins. Now, because they taught this subject of submission, they've cowed many women and intimidated them, and they can no longer express themselves. Like I listened to a man who was talking. No matter how a woman wants to do and wants to be show intelligence and everything, you can never be called a husband, because that's it. You may be thinking you are playing that role, but you can never be called a husband. I was teaching man today. So learn to identify your roles. There's no room and there's no reason for competition. Do you understand me? There's no reason for that. There's no room and there's no reason for that. And there's no way a man can try to do that say you want to be called a wife. No. A woman can become a president. A woman can become a governor. A woman can become an MD and so on. But you can never become a husband. And that's where you have to differentiate, identify your roles, and stay put. Do you understand? Another thing is this. Look at this again. Most of the physical abuses that we see today, many times it was generated by the long-term emotional abuse that has been kept for long in a man. When you say abuse of a woman, do you know that emotional abuse is going on more between and in men, that they can't talk, they will keep quiet, they will not say anything. It is when it is bottled in and they can no longer bear it that they express through physical. It's not every man that can bear it. Some will express it through blows, physical abuse. When emotional abuse has become so heightened up through on the side of a woman to the man, he's been bearing it, verbal abuse and all kinds of stuff, emotional abuse. We have physical, we have verbal, we have emotional. Do you understand? Now, when he has been suffering from emotional abuse for so long, he will eventually do one thing. He will react. He will one day react. And that's why you see him become moody, and you see him, generally not reacting to you the way he should and the way he will. Why? Because he has been going through emotional abuse. And so when he now reacts, that's when people say, oh, this man is physically abusive. Now, women, I want to say before I leave today, there is no competition. Forget about Beijing Conference. Forget about this gender equality. God did not make you guys to compete. He gave you a name, helper. When you are a helper, you don't need to compete with the person you are going to help. Do you understand? And if you go there, you have your tools with you. A woman is a bundle of equipment, bundle of gifts. She's got so many things on the inside of her. But you see, as long as she does not understand how to use those gifts, she will not be appreciated. The same thing with you, man. You are supposed to be a protector. What it means is this: the man, the daughter of another man, the man gives you his daughter. What is he saying? From where I stopped, continue from there. The same thing. The mama gave you his son and said, from where I stopped, continue from there. All I was doing for my son, continue and give him more. And what is the more? Sex. What is the more? Sex. Give him sex. Give him attention. Be with him everywhere. Keep him as a keep him company. Do you understand? Assist him in everything. Breastfeed him. Give him sex. Allow him to want to hang around you, to be with you. Always be there for him. Because I gave him all of this attention. I watched his back. The same thing with the man will tell the husband, take care of my daughter. I protected her. I watched over her. I provided for her. Okay? I went with her everywhere. I shielded her. I defended her. And I loved her. So continue from there. That's the meaning of marriage. It's a continuity. That's why after some time she can even call you daddy. And you find the man saying what? Mommy, not out of hypocrisy or religious church thing. Do you understand? Now, you find out if it's genuine understanding of these lessons that we both got, we will do it well, and we will always look out for one another. But if my mother didn't teach me, like your father didn't teach you to, we will now be doing trial and error, and then we'll keep making mistakes and keep slapping, fighting each other. And then it will become what? Cat and rat. And then we'll pretend in the church, we'll pretend on the outside, and then we come home and we'll do our thing. It shouldn't be so. So tonight, this is a message. You don't marry anyone with the intention of changing the person, because you don't change anybody. You can't change anybody. If you change the person, the uniqueness that will bring about that beauty in what you are doing will not show. That beauty that person has come to put in your life will not show. That's why when you are not trained, I tell my daughter that one thing. I said, don't be over independent. Don't be too independent. Okay? When you show over independence to a man, it leaves you alone. Let the man feel that he is everything. Let the man see and feel that, look, without him, that's the thing. Feed his ego. Do you understand? And when it comes to even married, and you are married to him and you are in bed, feed his fantasy. Get involved with him. Be interested in what he is doing. Show interest in his work. And when it gets to the issue of giving birth to children, show him that he is number one. He's your first son. I tell women this, that your husbands, if you have 3 boys, remember you have a first son. And that is who? Your husband. You don't say you have 3 children. You have 3 boys. No, you have 4 boys. Every woman that have children, you always remember you have another child. The firstborn, your firstborn is who? Is your husband. Because before ever that person came, you breastfed him. Before ever that child came, he was the one that you took care of. You provided for him. You watched after him. You looked out for him. You took care of him before his junior ones started coming. I wish tonight that we can all have it to do all over again and rekindle that fire of genuine concern for one another. I've started talking about it now. So those of you who have been saying talk about it, here I am. May God bless you. But don't forget this. When you fake things, when you are not real, because you are not taught, if you are sincere and you are genuine, okay, you will learn. As you grow in life, you learn and you unlearn. But those that don't want to learn, you want to dominate, you'll keep having problems. If you have a domineering spirit as a girl right now, I say this to you, you have problem. And listen to this. If your father, okay, cannot tell you sit down there when you say you want to go out and you say don't go there, if you cannot take permission, a girl that does not know how to take permission from the father will have problem with her husband. Because if the father says don't go and she goes, when she gets married she will have problem. A man that cannot have discipline in what he eats and where he eats, he will have problem. So when a girl is going out, there should be some caution. Oh, like I'm teaching my daughter, she does that now. Anytime she's going out, I tell her, find out where are you going, and if she must come and tell me. When she comes out, she comes in to tell me, Daddy, I'm back. Because it will not be a difficult thing anymore when she's married to find out, to tell her husband I'm going to. There was a day she was talking to me and she was telling me, small, she was telling me something. What she had in mind is Z. And then she started talking to me from, A, B, C. And I told her, I said, my daughter, look, you don't do that. Tell me what you exactly have in mind and let me process. Let me think. Because by the time you tell me A, B, C, and then you get to Y, and then you think I cannot stop you, and I try to now say no, it will not happen that way. You will find out that we'll have quarrel, we'll have problem. The same thing with your husband. Tell your husband, okay? Tell him, let him know ahead of time. Tell him ahead of time, this is where we're going. And if he knows where you're going, it's easier for you. It becomes a very easy thing than when you pretend that you are not actually going that way. So these are some of the factors that we will be looking at, and I encourage you to get your phone, and you can call 0803-589-2801, and then we're going to be looking at that, more closely. Now, you don't use your own to judge the other man. We will look at it from different cultures, different backgrounds, different social backgrounds also. When we are able to get that together, then we'll be able to now find out which culture is different and which background is different. Then when you see that, you'll be able to now tell why you are experiencing what you are experiencing. We will all come to one point. We can pretend on the outside, but on the inside, we all know why we are doing what we are doing. Now, we see this thing will give us rest when we understand that we do not get married to change the other person. It is the attempt to change the other person that keeps conflict in our marriages. May the Lord keep you today. 0803-589-2801. You can just call and let's get that done anytime you want us to get it done. And I think today, this is the first one I'm doing in a week on YouTube Live. I hope to get back again. The link of this is on Facebook. And I encourage you to download the app for our radio station. That is Voice of Faith Radio Church, and it's on Simple Radio, and it's also on Cloud Radio. Do the best you can to get those apps, and God bless you. On my own side here, it's almost night, and this is good night from me, and God bless you in Jesus' name. Shalom.